So now we're going to cover the gyratory machine, commonly known as the G5 machine. You have many attachments to the G5 machine. These are the ones that we use here. So you've got the curved attachment, which you can buy covers for. All of these you can buy covers for. This is curved into a horseshoe, and that's very effective on large areas. It's a sponge inside. So it's just sponge, just like this one is sponge. And that's going to be doing large curved areas, like the legs and the back, the sides of the back and so on. For smaller areas, you would use the round sponge, this one here. And that will do the arms and smaller areas that the horseshoe is just too big for. So they're equivalent. The sponge is equivalent to an effleurage movement. So whilst your client has the lamp on their back, if that's the treatment that they've booked, you would do the back of legs. Now, you need talc for the back of legs. This machine will work with talc, so you want unperfumed talc. So the medical type or the beauty talc. What you're going to do is you're not going to put oil on those legs. This machine will not work with oil. It must have the talc. So as soon as you've turned your client, you're going to put talc all over the back of legs, if that's the area you're doing the G5 on. And then you are going to do 6 nice effleurages using your hands. Once you've done those effleurages, you would move on to the equivalent to the effleurage with the sponge on the G5. So it would be this if it's large areas and the round one if it's small areas. Once you've used those, you would go on to the larger bobbly attachment, which is equivalent to petrissage and has an effect of a very deep petrissage movement. And then you would go on to the smaller bobbly one, which is equivalent more to the tapotement, so much heavier, much more invigorating moves. So they're the 3 that we use: effleurage, petrissage, tapotement, but there are many others. So your machine will come obviously with an electrical plug, because that's how we're going to get our power source. It's going to come with the attachment holder, which is here, which all of these will actually fit onto, so we need to change that as we go along. And it will come with a dial for speed. Obviously, if someone has poor muscle tone, it would be very light and you'd build up each time you did a treatment. If they had very firm muscle tone, then obviously you can go much higher and you can do the treatment for much longer. Normally, first time treatments, normal muscle tone, I would say approximately 40 is going to do the trick. So you can see now why it's called a gyratory machine. It actually gyrates and it has a much deeper effect on the skin than your hands can reach. So you would normally go over each body part at least 3 times, very, very thorough. So don't miss any areas. You must be systematic as you work your way over that area so nowhere gets missed. Now, these attachments go on literally by screwing them anti-clockwise and taking them off the opposite way. They are on a slight spring, so as you take these attachments off, you would push down, turn, and then release. And that's going to get them off nice and smoothly if they go on tight. Now, when you're putting these on, you can't overturn these attachments because they will jam on the handpiece and you will have a nightmare getting them off. So you need to put them on firmly but not tight. If you put them on too loose, obviously they're going to spin off and that could cause an accident. So they must go on firmly but not too tight. So when you're actually doing this treatment, because these attachments are really quite invigorating, you would place them on your hand first, put the attachment on top of your hand and then pull your hand away, leaving the attachment then on the client's body, and then you would proceed to work on that area. And then when you come to when you lift this and you come to the start again, you would place your hand down, the attachment would go on top of your hand, you would pull your hand free and then work your way over that area again. So you would never put these attachments straight onto your client's body without first placing them on your hand and then removing your hand. So the length of time on this treatment will pretty much depend on the part of the body that you're doing and your client's tolerance level, obviously what the client has booked and what they'll be paying for, and what their muscle tone is. So you must gauge these because it's not always the same intensity on all of the different body parts. You could probably go far higher on the legs than you would ever do on the arms. So you must check with your client each time whether they are comfortable or whether they would like the gyratory to go up a little bit more, the G5 to be turned up a little bit more, and you would be communicating with your client throughout to gauge their tolerance level.